I'm Gaby Company and this is The Dreaming Show. In today's show, my guest is the fantastic Robin O'Connell. She's from Silva Celebrant's Funeral Training. The topic today is how to believe in yourself. Hello Robin, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us. Could you tell us about you, please?
Sure. I was married for 25 years and my marriage ended. And I just started a new business. I'd just become a funeral celebrant. And I thought, am I going to make this or not? So I went out like you do and try and do all these things to try and find out about it. And I went and did business courses and all that sort of stuff. But I found out that underneath it all lies down to believing in yourself and believing in what you want to do. When my daughter died 35 years ago, I thought my world had ended. Yeah. When my marriage ended, I thought it had ended again.
How could you survive to that case, losing a daughter? What happened?
She died from what is known as sudden infant death, that's commonly known as cot death. Mm-hmm. Now back then 530 children a year died. Mm-hmm. Now with safe practice we're now down to 135, but it's still 135 too many. So, and at that point in time, I really didn't know whether I'd survive or not. Mm. I remember thinking at 23 years old, oh, I wish that I had have died, I'd had a life. I thought at 23 I'd had a life. But in comparison to her, I had. She was nearly 10 months old. And, for me, 23 years was a long time. So, but, it's like with anything in life, you can either look at all the negatives about what happens about it, or I thought, this is a senseless death. I have to make something good out of this. So I started studying. I became a grief counsellor. I learnt about teaching people how to deal with people who are grieving, because nobody knows, particularly in Australia, nobody knows what to do when someone dies.
Yeah, what I can see is the problem is not a problem sometimes, it's how you face the problem, is what you did.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So, you have two options. You can either embrace it and go, oh, poor me, or you can say, what can I learn from this and where can I take myself? And it's all about believing in yourself.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, give me two strategies if someone in the audience wants to believe in themselves, because it's not easy.
I think the main thing is to just like yourself.
Love yourself. Yeah.
Like yourself. You don't even have to go as far as loving yourself, because loving yourself is a really big ask. And it's a really big task to do straight off. But if you start to like the things that you do and the things that bring you joy, that flows on, and then you can get to a point where you love yourself. I still don't do the love yourself thing very well. I think that we have to first like ourselves, and even liking ourselves is hard. But if you just do something that you like, then you can start to think, okay, well, I achieved that. The other thing is that we are always so hard on ourselves. Yeah, we are far harder than anyone else can possibly be.
Yeah. We criticize us. We are not good enough. We are not doing the right thing. It's the stories that we say every single day to ourselves.
That's right. And that's why, having that belief in yourself that, you can do something, even though everything seems to be stacked against you that you can't, you actually can, as long as you have that belief and you have a passion behind that belief.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. It's belief in yourself, the passion, the action.
Yes.
The decision. What's the way to do things? Never give up.
And sometimes they take you in unexpected paths. Yeah. You'll be heading in one direction. I became a funeral celebrant, so that was my one direction. But then I ended up writing a book, and then I ended up training other people to become funeral celebrants. I had no idea. Before my daughter died, I couldn't have stood up and spoken in front of anyone. And now I do funerals where there might be 1,000 people there, and I don't think anything of it.
Could you tell us, why do you start this business? What happened?
From doing grief counselling, I found that I got so emotionally involved with those people that it really was detrimental to myself. So I still wanted to do something where I was helping people, but that I could also not get so involved with their lives. So I call it walking on a short journey with them at some point in their life, and that point is when somebody they love dies. So I come into their lives. I'm only in their lives for less than a week, but what I can do in that time is start them on a good grief journey by celebrating the life of somebody that they loved.
Could you explain me how it works, this service?
Sure. So as a funeral celebrant, I would go and visit a family. I would sit down and I would learn about the person. I would learn what they loved, what they didn't like, their funny ways, their stories about their life. And then I go away and I write that, and then on the day of the funeral I actually present it. Now, families sometimes will get up and talk about and do what they call the eulogy, which is the life story. A lot of the time in the work that I do, because a lot of it is trauma related and people aren't in that frame to be able to get that, I do a lot of them for them. So, but it's about honouring somebody's life. So it's not about celebrating that. There's all sorts of celebrating. We think about celebrations as being champagne and happiness and
dancing.
Exactly. But there are other sorts of celebrations that don't have to be like that. But it's honouring the person's life. It's understanding that that person was important to certain people who are there.
How that person was in life when he was alive.
That's right. And what are the things, it's not about, that he was born in this year and that he went to school at this school and all that sort of stuff. It was about who he was. Yeah. It was about the essence of him. What did he achieve that he was proud of? It didn't have to be walking on the moon. It just has to be something that he really achieved, and that could have just been having his children.
So honouring the qualities of that person.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it's the qualities that people will remember. They don't care where they went to school. They care about the differences they made in not only their lives but other people's lives as well.
How they live with the kids, with the family environment, how successful that person was, So yeah, it's amazing.
So, and I have a little thing that I use at the start of a lot of services that says, what constitutes a successful life? Yeah. How many times do we ask ourselves the question, is it the house? Is it the car? Is it the cash? No, it's the sorts of things, the memories that are left with people and the enduring savour that stays with people that remember that person and go, you know what, I love Jack because every time he saw me, he gave me a wink and a smile and a laugh. And that's what stays with people.
Yeah, because success is a big word for some people, and the meaning is different for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tell me the meaning of success for you.
The meanings of success. The meanings of success for me is being happy. It is leaving that enduring savour in other people's lives when I go. Like the thing that I want written on my gravestone is she made a difference, because that's what I want to do. I want to make a difference in people's lives, and I want to help other people make a difference in people's lives, so that when I'm gone, people look back and go, she made a difference.
How amazing.
It'd be wonderful. I'm still working towards it. I've got that's my longest term goal. And I think that's the other thing that you need too, is goals. You need to set, no matter how small it is, you need to set yourself small goals. And when I started in business, I used to meet with a girlfriend every Monday morning at 8:30, and we would set ourselves goals for the next week. And then we would meet the following week and see whether we'd achieved any of those goals. Most of the time we were doing them on Sunday night, but it meant that we did them. So that, we were both starting off a business at the same time. She's gone on to have a successful business and so have I.
So you're in focus every single week.
Absolutely. And reinforcing each other.
Yeah.
When you start to
it's
doubt.
It's a mindset group.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you start to doubt that you can't do something, she's there saying, but yes you can.
Keep going.
That's right.
Never give up.
And just don't give up and just keep going with it.
Believe
and that
in
way,
yourself.
yeah. And that's, you know, and she goes, well, I believe in you. You know, and then I found myself saying to her, but you can do this. I believe in you. And so it was really helpful to be able to start, because if you believe, if somebody else believes in you, even if you don't believe in yourself, you can keep going. You can keep just those little baby steps until you get to a point. As I say to a lot of people, you know, I became an overnight success. It only took me 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, because but if you do what you love, then it doesn't feel like work. I don't feel like I have worked for the last 14 years. Who says that?
You got a success after 14 years because you never give up.
That's right. And all the things in the early days told me that I should. It was because my business lost money for the first 2 years. And I was a single woman on my own, and I thought, you know, I can't do this. I can't. I'm never going to make it. I learnt to live on $1.10 a meal. I'd cook soup, and I'd buy bread rolls, and I'd have bread rolls and soup. Very healthy soups, not, you know, not junk food, but very healthy soups. And that was what got me through, because I didn't have the money to be able to go out and buy lots of things and all that sort of stuff. I tried to eat as healthily as what I could, but my passion was so much there.
So strong.
That I just couldn't not do it. And, you know, as I said, I did a couple of business plans. The people who were running the course that I was doing it said, quit now. Don't spend any more money. And it's easy to take that advice. You have to push yourself. You have to believe in yourself and have passion and perseverance.
Yeah, I like that. So perseverance, the passion, continue, never give up.
No.
When you believe in yourself, you never give up, you will get it.
Oh, you will. You will. The person who believes in themselves, it doesn't matter how much you get, but the person who believes in themselves will succeed.
Sometimes people quit when they are close like this to achieve the goal.
Exactly.
Because they don't believe in themselves.
And I see that in my training. So I now train funeral celebrants. I do 2 courses a year. And because there wasn't the people who were training in funeral celebrancy weren't actually funeral celebrants. People weren't getting the right training. So I do this 6-day live-in course. And people come in and they go away at the end of it and go, I didn't think that something could change my life. Because it's not just about learning to be a funeral celebrant. It's about creating relationships with people that you're doing the course with when you're living with them for 6 days. It's about learning how to help other people.
Feeling the fulfillment as well.
And having the passion to want to go out and do what I do and have done for the last 14 years. And to know, and I love it when they ring me. They've done their first funeral and they ring me and they say, I've done my first funeral.
Oh, amazing.
And I offer ongoing mentoring with all the people who do my courses. So, you know, they'll ring me and they'll say, I feel so good, you know, and it's lovely. And I go, I believed in you. I knew you could do it. You just have to understand that you need to believe in yourself.
Congratulations, Robbie, because you are helping people to change life.
Yes.
I cannot believe you say you suffer in the past. I can see you now. You are very laughing.
I love life. I love life. I remarried 6 years ago, and he'll probably shoot me if I get it wrong. I think it's 6 years ago. And I just thought that would never happen. I thought, and I didn't want it to happen. And I just went, you know, so at my wedding, I commandeered the celebrant role for a little while, and I made everybody promise that they would remind us that both of us said never ever again. Because we'd both been married before, both of us didn't want to marry again. And I just said to my husband when I met him, I will not live with you, I will not marry you. And within 10 days we were living together, and within 10 months we were married.
And you are really happy now.
And everybody said, you know, oh, you know, one day you'll get married again. I went, no, absolutely not. And then suddenly the right person comes along, and neither of us were looking for it. And I think that's part of the secret. when you stop getting out there and going, I must find someone. I wasn't ever like that, but I know a lot of friends of mine are, that they think that they have to find someone. It's when you stop looking that suddenly someone finds you.
Just the universe sent you the right person, probably.
And I just, I wanted someone to go to the theatre with and someone to go to dinner with. That was it. And I ended up with a wonderful husband who he's just
how amazing.
So supportive of what I do. He's loves what I do.
Having you.
Oh, I'm a lucky woman.
Both.
But it's, again, I kind of I started off on the negative thing with him. Oh, but I'm, looking at all the negative things, and he said to me, why are you like that? Why do you think that I don't, that I haven't fallen in love with you? Because my belief in myself was that I wouldn't find anyone, or if I did, I wouldn't be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And once he started to believe in me, and suddenly everything started to blossom again, because he was the one, and he said to me just the other day, he said something about, sweetheart, you just want to fix the world.
No one can.
And I know, and and he said, but he said, that's why I love you. That's why I married you, because you want to do that, And I think if I can just help one person, and we help people in unexpected ways, but I think that, going back to that belief thing, is that if we can just help one other person in anything, then that helps our own self-belief in doing some good.
Yeah, and also helping one person, you are helping the world.
Yes.
To change.
Yeah.
Okay, it's amazing. Could you tell, please, to the audience if they want to have your services or if they want to do the training, please?
Sure. They can contact me through my website, which is silvercelebrants.com.au, and my contact details are all on there. So that's that www.silver, as in the colour, celebrancetraining.com.au.
Okay, thank you, Robin.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you. I really appreciate that you are here. Thank you for the message. Everybody's going to love what you're saying.
Just remember to believe in yourself.
Yes, believe in yourself. Everything is possible. Thank you very much. See you next time. See you next week. All the best. Bye.
Dreaming show.